Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacqueline. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacqueline at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome back to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, and our show today is Talking Heads. Talking Heads are a team of experts from around the world who have their own 30-minute show to present their expertise and knowledge to us to help us be better personally and or professionally. Again, I'm so excited. We just did a show right before this with Roland Friedl. He is our talking head for today. Let's bring him on. Hi, Roland.
Hello, Dr. Jacqueline. Great to see you again.
Great to see you too. We've been doing a lot of running around in the last few minutes, and I'm really excited for this topic. So I'm going to spotlight you and put up your deck, and then I'll be back to have a chat with you.
Thank you. So hello, everyone. Thank you for coming back to my talking head. And for the next 30 minutes, I will guide you through this module. It's called Increase Your Leadership Performance by Smart Planning and Effective Team Communication. That's their overall topic. And today, I want to focus just on effective team meetings so that you can make sure that all of your team members are aligned and find out, well, you also can find out which individual leadership style each one needs to perform. If you followed my Talking Head show last week, you will remember we've talked about the 5 stars. And the first point of the success stars was make sure that everyone in your team is aligned with your goals, with your vision. So now we go a little bit deeper with how to do this. And in the next show, just a short briefly, we will talk about the different leadership styles. So in this show, you know exactly how to align your team, and you will also find out by a clever question which kind of leadership style your team members need for each task. And as I said, in the next show, we go deeper on the leadership style. So let's focus on effective team meetings. And those guys of you who followed the last 3 shows will know I always do it on what I call on a format system. We talk about why it's important to have effective team meetings, what is an effective team meetings, how you're doing it, and what happens when you adapt this to make it work for you. So let's start with the why. And I guess this is one of the most important things, why to have an effective team meeting. The point is, and as you see this quote I was writing down here, the only thing which will ultimately hold any organization together or any team together will be shared conviction in its purpose and its methods. As I said, also, the purpose is to align your team on your vision, on your strategy, on your plan, and on your action plan. So this is what it's called, like the conviction of its purpose and its method. It's so important. When you want to have a good performing team, it's so important that you align them, and we do this in meetings. The structure I will show you is not only for team meetings, it's also when you do a kickoff meeting. Maybe when you're a sales-driven organization, you do your weekly or monthly sales training with your team, whatever it is. Whatever meeting you're holding with your team, you can use this structure to be more effective, to get more out of the team meetings. Because my experiences, my 35-year experience of training and consulting, coaching and sparring companies and their leaders is that most meetings are not effective. And maybe when you're a team leader by yourself, you maybe had experience, you always set up your team meetings. It takes time to set up, or maybe you prepare a PowerPoint presentation, whatever. And at the end of the meeting, there's always a question, any questions? And most of the time, nobody's saying anything. And then you everybody is continuing his work, and you're a little bit frustrating because you didn't get the desired outcome of the meetings. The team members are frustrated because most of them see this as wasted time in meetings. And I had many chances to join team meetings as a silent observer to give the manager feedback afterwards what he or she can do better. An interesting thing is when I interviewed the team leader separately to these team members, I always had the feeling that the team leader and his team have been in separate meetings. It was not the same experience they had. And so I want to give you some tips and hints how you can make it more effective for yourself, so you have a better performing team, but also for each team member, so that the desired outcome is that every team member is looking forward to the next team meeting, because they get value out of the team meeting. They enjoy your team meetings, not only because it's funny, because they learn something. Yes, they develop their skills in the team meetings, and that's where the meetings are there. It's not only about showing figures or talking about bad stuff that happened in the past in the company. No, it's about aligning the team and making sure that everybody knows in which direction we go and how we do it. So let's start about what it is. And as I mentioned before, I want to give you a structure, a simple structure that helps you to have an effective team meeting, no matter if it lasts 20 minutes or 60 minutes or 2 hours. Always use the same structure. Before we go to structure, you have to be clear that as a good visionary leader, you have to have on two hats. The first hat is a leader as yourself, meaning that you are responsible for the company, you're responsible for reaching goals, you're very performance-driven, you're very goal-driven, but it's also your task that you coach and develop your team members to perform much better. So you have a different hat on as a coach, and as a coach, you're not goal-driven, you're more interested in the process, you're more interested in the people, so you're more responsible for the team. So you have two different roles, and it is very important that you, firstly, you as a leader know exactly which hat you have on. I'm talking as a leader, or I'm talking as a coach. This is very important, because first of all, you have to be very clear about your role. Why is that? Because also your team members have to be clear in which role you talk to them. I give an example. When you want to come over as a leader, but you talk like a coach and you behave like a coach, they don't take you for serious. If you want to come over like a coach, go communicate with them like a coach, but you talk and behave like a leader, then the team members won't trust you. So they have to know in which role their managers, and you as a manager have to be very clear which hat you have on in this precise moment in this conversation. Okay. So it's this structure helps you to split the team meetings in two parts, because it's easier so you don't get confused. I have the leader's hat on, or I have the coach hat on. Okay, so we start the team meeting always as a leader. And as a leader, you have more a monologue. It's not a dialogue. It's not how to say, a discussion. It's a monologue. It's more a statement in the beginning, and then we go into the coaching mode. We have the coaching hat on, and then we go in a dialogue, in a communication with each team member. Okay, are you ready? So let's start it. So in a team meeting, first of all, I can tell you it's very important to prepare each meeting. Really be prepared. So the first thing is you know exactly what is the desired outcome. That's the most important thing. What is the desired outcome of each meeting? So really prepare exactly. And maybe you have a certain topic you want to discuss. And what I really recommend is start a meeting always very positive. In my experience, when, as I mentioned before, I joined many meetings as a silent observer, and most of the meetings are really crap from the beginning. Sorry for that, but they start with negative figures. Okay, the last quarter was really bad. We lost this client, and this went wrong, and this went wrong. And I was sitting in the back as a silent observer, and I could feel as like the energy was going down. But I guess you organize a meeting because you want to bring the energy up of the team members. So why starting with negative messages? Doesn't make sense at all. And I can tell you, if the last quarter was bad, you don't have to talk about it. Everybody in the team knows it, experience it. If you lost the clients, you don't have to talk about it because everybody knows it in the team. Okay, so always start a team meeting positive. You want to bring the energy high. You don't want to bring it low, because in the low energy, nobody can perform. So bring the energy high. So start with a clear vision, what I call a vision with a clear goal. And I can tell you, figures are not sexy. Like I say, I want to make 5 million, I want to make whatever. This is not sexy. Don't start with figures. I'm also not a huge fan of PowerPoint presentation, because what happens most of the time is presentation light off, presentation on, and people fall asleep after 5 or 10 minutes. Mostly, I see so many leaders who have so many slides, so much information. They are so proud of it. Maybe they have a special team who design their slides, but honestly, I can tell you, nobody's interested in it. What people are interested in, and I guess I was talking last time about it, is they want to know exactly what is the goal of the team, what is the goal, the vision of my team leader. So be clear about it and sit around. I guess this is the most difficult and the most, I would say, challenging phase in preparing a meeting is, what is your vision? Where do you see yourself and the company when you're a business owner or the CEO, or where do you see yourself in the team of your department when you are responsible for a certain department in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Okay, so have a clear vision about that. And don't work with figures, work with pictures, with nice pictures. Okay, so have a clear positive bit, because this is always the starting point. You're always relating to this vision. Everything you're doing, everything you're expecting from your team members, everything you're asking for is related to reach this vision, this goal. But you have to be clear, it's your vision when you start talking, and it's in the beginning, it's not a vision of your team, but I will show you how it becomes the vision of your team, okay? So be clear about your own vision, where you want to go with your company, with your team. That's first. Secondly, be clear about in the preparation, what are you expecting? What are your claims? What are you expecting about from every single team member, so you can reach this goal, so you come closer to this vision? What is your expectation? And this expectation, okay, what is your expectation? What is your claims? What is the benchmark you demanding, expecting from each team member, so you can reach this goal and have a clear communication what you need? And also, when you work with different terms, also explain what you understand under this term, because everybody has a different understanding. I give you an example. When you're working in the service industry, and your vision is you want to be the most friendly company, the highest recommended company. Every client will love you and recommend you because everybody's friendly and supportive, stuff like that. And you say, okay, one of the expectations of out of 5 or 6 you're communicating in it is being on time. Okay, being punctual, being on time. And you say, okay, my team members, my vision is that we become the most recommended, the most friendly business in our area. And I know we can reach this, but we only reach this if every team member is aligned to this goal, and also if every team member is clear what to do. And one of my expectations is that we always start very punctual, on time. So every customer we meet, every customer meeting, every sales meeting, whatever it is, we always start on time, punctual. And then you explain. And starting on time for me means, for example, we start at 8 a.m. in the morning. It doesn't mean that you come a 4:15 a.m. or you come at a.m. No, you come at a.m. minus 10 or 15. You come to the room, you get rid of your coat, you pick up your coffee, whatever. You say hello to your colleagues or your client, whatever, and you start sharply at 8 a.m. So explain the terms when you're using terms. What do you understand about being punctual? What do you understand by being authentic? What do you understand about have more self-responsibility? What do you understand about being more engaged? Whatever it is. Okay, so start with your vision, and then tell exactly what expectations you have for each team member. These all expectations are all the same. This is a monologue, as I said. And then this is a very important thing. And then close this monologue by stating your positive emotion when you reach this goal. Okay, so think about it in the preparation. Said, okay, when I reach this goal, which emotions arises? What comes up from the gut? Which emotion arises? I'm happy. I'm proud of my team. Whatever it is. Okay, and please communicate this, your personal emotion, this emotion, to your team members. Your team members have to know your emotions. Okay, very, very important. So they know exactly, okay, when we reach this goal as a team, then our manager is proud of the team, or our manager is happy, or whatever it is. Okay, so clear also your emotions and have a clear communication about emotions. Okay, I shortly summarize this. Start with your vision, a positive picture, formulated in the I form. I want to reach this. I want this in an I form. That's very important. Then communicate clear your claims, meaning your expectations, what each team member has to contribute to reach this goal. And then tell your team members in the beginning what positive emotions will be triggered by reaching this goal, this vision. Okay, so this is the start. How, depending on the desired outcome, depending on the topics you have, this can go for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, or maybe for almost half an hour, whatever it is, how big the topic is in the beginning. Okay, so in the first thing, you have the leader's hat on. And now you change totally your role and you have your coaching hat off. So now you start communicating with your team members. Okay, so as I said in the beginning, most presentations or meetings end here. And then the guy said, okay, any questions? And there's always silence. And some people are asking, but mostly it's nothing is happening. And I had a meeting, I joined a meeting actually last week. It was online and it was the same thing. Okay, they had an online meeting because most people are working remotely now right now, online meeting. And then I guess the meeting was about 55 minutes. And then the business owner said, okay, any questions? And then there was silence for a minute or something. And I said, okay, if you have any questions, thank you so much, and bye-bye. Boom. That's it. And for this, it comes a lot of frustration. So now you go in the communication, now you go in a conversation, now you go in a dialogue with your team members. And then you're asking several questions. First is a question about understanding. Make sure that everybody is aligned with your goal and understands exactly what is expected. An understanding question can be that you say, John, can you explain with your own words what exactly I am expecting from you? And then I go to the next one. Christian, can you explain me, how do you know that you are a successful team member? How do you know that you contribute well to this team effort? So, and ask really everyone. You have to make sure that everyone understands what the goal is and everyone understands what your expectations are. This is so important. It's simple, but very powerful. Make clear. And you will understand in the next episode when we talk about leaders that you have to know about from each team member. Does he or she totally understand what you expect from them? Okay, so the first is an understanding question. And really take your time. Don't hurry through this. Take your time and ask each team member. Make sure. And they have to speak to you with their own words. Let's say you have 10 team members and maybe number 4 says, yeah, as my 3 colleagues said before. So no. Mary Lou, please tell me with your own words, what are my expectations? And she has to respond with her own words. This is very, very, very important. Okay, so the first is an understanding question. I call it understanding question about making sure that everyone in the team understand what is the goal and what are you expecting from them. That's the first question, understanding question. The second question I call an action plan question. This is about the skills. Ask, okay, when it's clear that everybody has totally understood what you've been talking about, then you ask them how to do it. And you say, you go back to John in the beginning. I said, John, okay, how will you do it? How will you make this phone call? How will you talk to this client? How will you, whatever it is, okay? So you talk now about, does it exactly know how to do it? How to set the action? And then for example, when the point is about, I don't know, getting appointments on the phone for a sales meeting or something like that. Okay, so and you say, okay, my expectations are in the beginning that you make 10 phone calls a day. Okay, so in the understanding question, I asked John what I'm expecting from you, and John says, hopefully he listened to you and understood what you said. I said, okay, you're expecting that I make 10 phone calls to clients every single day. I said, great, very, very good. My second question is, how will you do this? And he said, yeah, pick up the phone and call me. No, with your own words. And then I go into coaching, deep in the coaching, and say, John, I'm your client on the other phone. Okay, ring, call me now. How do you get an appointment that we can have a sales meeting? Now, so I go in a coaching training phase right now, okay? I want to make sure, does everyone have the skills? Do you remember from the last episode when we talked about the success star? The second pillar of the success star was be sure what kind of skills are needed, and does everyone have the skills that are needed to perform to reach this goal? Okay, so this in the second question is to make sure, does every single team member know exactly how he or she will do it, how will do the action, making a phone call or whatever it is. Okay, so the second question is an action question. So, has everyone the skills? So if, give you an example, if a team member is answering properly, give you a correct answer, you say, great, thank you for that, and you go to the next one. And remember, as with the understanding question, everyone is responding with his or her own words. If somebody is not answering properly, you're not happy with the answer, it's not the correct way to reach this goal, then you can correct it. Or what I suggest is not you step in, let another team member step in. I said, Christian, can you help out your colleague? How you will do it? Or Mary Lou, can you help out your colleague? How will you make this phone call? And so you have an interactive learning during the team meeting, the session. Okay. So second question is action question. Make clear that everyone has the skills and knows exactly not only what to do, but also how to do it. The next question is a motive question. This is about their motivation. So now you're asking them, okay, John, you told me that you understood that I expect you that you're doing 10 client calls a day. That's great. And also in this short role play we had, you did it really fine. What I want to know right now from you, John, is why do you want to do this? Why are we asking this question? Do you remember the beginning? I said that the first stuff, vision, it's your vision, it's your goal. It's not your team member's goal. It's not true, it's your goal. Now we want to motivate them and find out their own motivation why they want to do it. I said, John, why you want to do this? And I can tell you, people are not used to this question because they never get a why question from the boss. That's my experience in 35 years of coaching and training companies and their executive managers and staff. Okay, it's a very important question. Why do you want to do this? Maybe John is saying, yeah, maybe because then you're not blaming anymore about me, or then you let me alone, or maybe he's more mature and he will say, yeah, then I will have more success. I get more opportunities for sales meetings. I will have more success. I will have more sales. I will get a better commission or a higher commission or whatever it is. Okay, so always ask the motive question. And when you get used to this team meetings, I won't do it in the first one when you start this way, the first one, but maybe after a few weeks, when you get more comfortable in running a meeting like this, then you can ask him, what's the advantage for you? But you can also ask a second or a third question, motive question, said, what is the advantage for the client? What's the advantage for the team? Or what's the advantage when you perform like this and behave like this? What is the advantage for the company, for example? Okay, so you can go in different levels. So say, why you want to do this? Why is it good for you? Why is it good for the client? Why is it good for the team? Why is it good for the company, for example? And then you close it with a commitment. So can we commit to this? Can everyone in the team commit to this? And I said, okay, we're doing this, and we are motivated because we want to reach this goal. And that's it. That's all about it. So to summarize it shortly, you start with a statement, the monologue, with your leader's hat on, having a clear statement about your vision, your goal, a clear statement about the expectations you have for each team members. You communicate also your positive emotions that you will have when you reach this goal together with your team. And then you change your hat from the leader's hat to the coaching hat. And then you start getting in a conversation, in a dialogue with each team member to make clear, does everyone understand what you expect? Does everybody know how to do it? Does everybody know why he or she should do it? And close it with a commitment. And maybe you also communicate the next team meeting. Okay, that's the structure for an effective team meetings. And I can tell you, I did it for myself, for my own companies. I was running a company years ago with 8,000 people all over the world, and it worked very properly, face to face in a room, in a conference room. But it also worked virtually when you work remotely. Okay, what if you adapt this concept? First of all, be patient to yourself when you do it the first time. Prepare it. Have a good preparation. Maybe you have a good buddy, a friend, and you do this team meeting just face to face with this person. Really train, practice, so you get more confidence about it. It's about preparation and practicing. Everything we want to get better. It's all about practice. Be clear that there might be some resistance from the team members because they're not used to it, and maybe they think of it, you want to control them or whatever you do. Tell them, no, guys, my only goal is that we perform as a team, and my only goal is that every team member has his place and his purpose and contributes to the team effort, and then we have a happy life here. Make them sure that you'd only do this to help them, that they perform better and develop better. And be patient to yourself and keep with this clear structure. Separate the leader style, the leader part from the coaching part. You have to be clear, and then your team members will learn and will know exactly when you are in the leader's head or when you have your coaching hat on. That's so important. And for all this, I wish you a lot of success. And as I said before, it's all about training and practicing. I hope you get value out of this. And for next week, we're going to talk about, in episode 5, I will talk about different leadership styles, because I know that every team member needs a different leadership style, and every team member needs or may need a different leadership style for different tasks, because they have different experiences and different levels of maturity. So we came to an end, sharp on time, 30 minutes. I wish you a lot of success. If you need any support, practice, sparring, just contact me on my website, rolandfriedl.com. I'm more than happy to support you together with my team. And by the way, we do it in different languages. We do it in English, we do it in German, we do it in French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Polish, and Arab. And all my team members are native speakers. So I will trade you in German, for example. Okay, thank you so much, and bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Roland. I took so many notes. I loved what you talked about. When I was in corporate, we had our sales meetings every Monday, and it just felt like you were getting your head bashed. And this is wrong, that's wrong. Let's look at the numbers. The first thing, the numbers go up, and you're just like, oh. So really great points there. And I loved how you differentiated between that leadership role and hat and the coach, because that is so important. And I think there are probably a number of leaders out there who aren't even aware of the fact that there are those separate roles, and they're acting in both, and people are getting confused. And I think also the way you shared about going around to each team member, setting the expectations, and then having them share their authentic voice instead of what we hear all the time. Oh yeah, whatever she said. I agree with her. There's no information there.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can absolutely relate to this. For first, what you said is so many team members are frustrating. Team meetings are just held because it's Monday 10 a.m. and there's always a meeting on Monday 10 a.m. So that's one point. So for your leaders outside, please prepare and be clear about the outcome. And also use your meetings for a learning experience or a coaching experience of your team members. And then they're really looking for it and said, hey, there's a meeting. I will go there because I get news, but I also will learn something. I will personally develop and becoming a better version of myself and a better in my role as a salesperson, as a whatever role is in the meeting is. And the second thing, it's so important, as I said, changing this head. You have to be clear as a leader, because as I said in the session, is if you communicate like a manager, like a leader, but you want to coach your person, this person won't trust you. And if you want to be in a clear statement as a leader, as a manager, but you talk and behave like a coach, then people don't take you for serious. It's very, very important. Absolutely.
Excellent points. I think also one thing I want to share is typically, at least in my experience in corporate, the senior leaders have a meeting at the end of the day, Friday, and they pretty much beat down their leaders. Then the leaders have it all through the weekend. And then when Monday comes, they're like, I got to just dump this information on my team because they're carrying it all. So it definitely starts at the top. And also one of the guests we've had on our platform talks about everyone's a leader. So regardless of what role you're in, you are inspiring other people. So be aware of that. And the last point I wanted to make, when you talked about being on time, I remember, I think it was a course that I took, that if you didn't get there on time, you couldn't get into the classroom because the door was literally locked. So you either show up, and that means get there early. That doesn't mean get there right when it starts. And the other thing is, people will come in and they interrupt the meeting that already started to talk about why they're late. We know you're late. Yeah. We see you are late. We don't need to know why.
Absolutely. And actually, many years ago, I did a study with Professor Roland Friedl. Unfortunately, he passed away 8 years ago. He was the founder of Group Dynamics, and very, very, very great person, very great professor. And he was talking about make clear that you start punctual, and if everybody who's late, don't let them in anymore, because you're changing the energy in the room. You have a storming phase in the beginning. So storming, who's the alpha, who's the beta, who's the gamma, who's the delta in the room. You have a storming phase. Then you have a norming phase. And then the transition comes to the performing phase. So to perform, you have to be clear that you have a storming and norming phase. And when you're in this process, in the norming phase, already in the performing phases, and one person gets out of the room or one person comes into the room late, the energy changes totally, and there is, while you try to perform, the group consciously or unconsciously goes back in the storming and norming phase, and nobody's listening what you're saying. So I did it. I did the same when I started my this huge company that I sold. I closed the drawer when we started the meeting, and who was late was not in. No, we didn't do that.
It's a good practice. I even find here on this platform, I ask everyone come 10 minutes early so that we can just talk about what's going to happen, especially if it's a first-time guest. When the guests show up late and the show's already started, and then I bring them on, there's been no conversation or coaching whatsoever or any leadership, it's not a great interview, because
Absolutely.
Yeah, the vision hasn't been communicated.
Yeah, but as I said, when you use terms like punctual or something, we have to explain it because everybody has a different understanding.
Yes.
I've been living now 14 years in Spain, and to be on time here means coming within an hour. When you said it's 8 o'clock and I come and get 9, you're still on time in Spain.
That's a good point, because culturally it means different things to different people. Yes.
Yeah, especially that's a good point. When you run an international team, when you're project manager or you're running international teams, you have different cultural backgrounds. So be very clear about this. So at the end, at the end of the day, it's always about clear communication. The clearer you communicate, the less space is for interpretation.
Yes.
Okay? The clearer you communicate, the less suffering as a leader.
Absolutely. Well, bravo. Well done. I really appreciate it. You brought some amazing information as you do every week. So please do tune in. It's the same time each week. And I look forward to having you bring your next lesson. You can go over to our YouTube channel, which is USA Global TV, and you can watch all of Roland's Talking Heads there. There's a playlist called, guess what? Talking Heads. So you can see his lessons there as well as our other team members. All right. Thank you so much, Roland.
Thank you for this opportunity to share this. And yeah, until the next time. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. I'm just so appreciative of each and every person who watches our shows and who spreads the word. It's just so much entertainment and education from people from all over the world. So I thank you. I have some announcements, which are kind of exciting. I am launching my own jewelry line. Yay. So some of the pieces that you see me wearing on a regular basis, like my necklace and my bracelet here, you can have your name put on it, my earrings. So I'll be showing a portfolio of our first 5 pieces and letting you know how you can go ahead and get yours customized for yourself and your life. Next is my book is coming out, my second book, and actually Roland is in that book. It is called Adversity to Awesome. And in this book are true stories of how people have overcome incredible adversities. My story is in there as well for chapter 1. And you can actually go over on Amazon right now and pre-order the Kindle version. Both the Kindle and paperback will be available April the 4th. And finally, I would love to have you join me in my elevated listening community. I provide a video, a 30-minute video each week. And that video includes a guided meditation, fitness tips, listening tips, as well as a summary of the education shared here on the platform. So you can just go over to drjacqueline.com/join. Okay, they're all the lessons I have, all the information I have. We'll be back again tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Roland, and thank you to all of you.